Now let's talk about a story. Once upon a time, in a small corner of England, a strange new kind of poem was born. It didn't want to talk about roses. It didn't want to talk about pretty sunsets. It wanted to talk about love, death, God, and time, the things nobody can quite explain. And it was all about to change poetry forever. This is the story of metaphysical poetry. Our story begins with a young writer named John Donne. Everyone around him was writing poems about flowers and moonlit love, so pretty and predictable. But Donne was bored of pretty. He wanted his poems to feel like a conversation, clever, surprising, even a little shocking. One night, writing to someone he loved before a long journey apart, Donne had a strange idea. What if he compared two lovers to a drawing compass? Even when they far apart, one leg always leaned towards the other, always connected, always circling back home. It was strange, it was clever, and it worked. This little poem had a secret power. Poets call it a metaphysical conceit. A metaphysical conceit, a bold, surprising comparison that seems bizarre at first, but the longer you sit with it, the more perfect sense it makes. And just like that, a new kind of poem was born, one that used logic and science to talk about love and the soul. Word spread. Other poets began to try this strange new style. The little poem wasn't alone for long. It made friends. The first friend was George Herbert. He used to write about faith, shaping his poems on the page like the very things he described. The second friend was Andrew Marvell. He used to joke about love while sneaking in the deep questions about time slipping away. The third and fourth friends were Henry Vaughan and Richard Crashaw. They used to chase the mystery of God and the universe. But the interesting fact is that none of them planned it. For a while, this strange little poem flourished. It felt invincible. But every story has a dark chapter. About 100 years later, a powerful critic named Samuel Johnson discovered these old poems, and he did not like what he found. He thought the poets were just showing off, cramming in complicated ideas to prove how smart they were. He gave them a name, almost like an insult, metaphysical poets. Too heady, too cold, not real poetry, he said. And just like that, our strange little poem, once so bold and alive, was pushed into the dark, forgotten, gathering dust for over a century. Now let's fast forward to 20th century. A poet named T.S. Eliot was searching through old forgotten books, and he found a little poem still waiting on its dusty shelf. He opened it up and he understood something Samuel Johnson had missed. These poems didn't just make you feel, and they didn't just make you think. They did both at the exact same time. Thought and feeling fused into one experience. Eliot told the world it had made a mistake, and slowly the world listened. Our poem was carried down from its shelf, dusted off, and placed back in the light where it belonged. After a century in the dark, the poem that refused to be simple was finally understood. And here is the twist ending. Our little poem never really left. It just changed the shape. When you say heartbreak feels like a punch in the gut or love feels like flying, you're doing exactly what John Donne did 400 years ago. Taking something you can't touch. The poem that once got cast off for being too clever turned out to be timeless because the questions it asked about love, time, faith, and loss never really go out of style. And so, the poem that refused to be simple is still being read today in classrooms, in all books, and quietly in the strange little comparisons we all make when words alone aren't enough.